Hey guys, I'm Alex from TechnoClass.com and you are watching The Big Time Show. Wait, no, that can't be right. Nope, what we are doing today is reviewing the Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0. Now this is a quad-core processor device, come from Cherry Mobile, the local brand. This is one of their phablets. It's got a 5.7 inch, a large 5.7 inch screen, 12 megapixel BSI camera on the back. Price at $9,499, so a very affordable phablet with a nice BSI camera on the back. They released this a few months ago. I was not able to review it early on, a little bit of a scheduling constraints and stuff like that. I was busy, and then I got sick, and then my PC broke. But enough excuses. We are going to review the Blaze 2.0 right now. It's a very promising quad-core device. Only about 500 pesos more than Omega HD2. And you're getting a 5.7 inch screen and all that. Long intro, but whatever. Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0 review coming up right now. Alright, so this is the Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0. It is aforementioned phablet device. Large screen, 5.7 inches, and as you can see, since it's hard to remove because of the larger screen, you have this little ribbon here. You can pull it, tug to take the phone out. This is the phone right here, very, very large. Doesn't have a battery just yet, so we'll look for that in the box right here. So this is the battery right here. Let's take it out of the plastic. And look at the battery right here. This is a 2,500 milliamp hour battery, so that's more than the usual amount. Probably because this has a 5.7 inch screen, you need a bigger battery. It's a dual SIM. As you can see, the regular SIMs, those are SIM 1, SIM 2. I believe they're both 3G. Micro SD card slot as well, so you can expand the storage if you want to. Alright, so the back closes up like so. There you go. That's the device right there. Let's power it on and look at the other parts of the box. There you go. It's starting to boot up. In the box right here, looks like a one-piece headset with a microphone and a button, as you can see right there. There you go. What else we have here? Looks like a micro USB cable for charging and data transfer. Blaze 2.0 user manual. Looks like a lot of 40 pages maybe. Black and white with some pictures. Warranty card, obviously, because you always want warranty with your device. There you go. Over on the top cut here, looks like is a white charger, which is weird because the device is in Android is upgrading. Weird. The device is in black, and the charging cable is black, but the charger is white. But doesn't matter, I guess. It's just charger. Some people like white as well. So let's move on. Check out the device right now. Looks like it's booted up. So yeah. Alright guys, so here is the Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0, and as you can see, 5.7 inch screen. It's fairly large. It barely fits into my viewing angle here on my camera. But there it is, a 5.7 inch screen. You can see it compared to my hand. It's fairly big. There is a row of buttons on the bottom. We'll talk about the interface a little bit afterwards though. But this is the, as you can see, running Android 4.2. But before we talk about the interface, let's talk about the parts of the device here. The aforementioned 4.7 inch HD display, that's 1280 by 720 IPS. Over on the top here we have a speaker grill, a 3 megapixel BSI camera over there. Hello. And it looks like there must be sensors over on the left side. I'm gonna guess the left side for the light sensitivity and the proximity sensor. Over on the bottom here we have a physical home button, which is weird because there's already a capacitive row on the screen itself. There's no back button or menu button or multitask button on the bottom bezel here, except for the home button, which is also done, which also is redundant because there's a home button right here. It's a minor thing, but that's part of the design. Let's move on to the left side here, which is actually there's nothing here. On the bottom we have a micro USB port for charging and data transfer. Let's get that focused. A little bit of a pinhole for your microphonies. A little bit of the notch there so you can open the back. Over on the right side, we have a volume rocker and a power button. The power button is situated on the right side because since this is a big enough device, it's hard to get your finger on top. That's a good idea there. Over on the top, we have a 3.5mm headset jack, and that's about it for the sides. Over on the back, which is we have an interesting texture on the back here. Not shiny, but weird. Seems to pick up some oil, but it's not glossy or anything. Doesn't pick up fingerprints. Anyway, we have a speaker grill on the bottom right here. Cherry Mobile logo over at the bottom here. In the middle here, we have a Blaze 2.0 in white. The text is in white. 12 megapixel autofocus badge right there, and of course the 12 megapixel camera with the LED flash, the BSI camera. That's it for the parts. Overall, the design is kind of interesting. There's a bunch of different textures coming about here. Of course, the shiny bezel on front here, shiny black area right here, shiny sides right here, and then you have the sort of sand, not really sandpaperish, but not a very matte black here with a contrasty white. I don't really mind, although some people would want some more flourish in their designs. But we are going to talk about the interface now, and that everything else is going to be a minor thing after we talk about that. So yeah, interface coming up right now.
Guys, don't forget to watch the Big Time Show.
Alright guys, here we are looking at the interface of the Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0. As you can see, it's still a very large screen. A 1280 by 720 display. Looks pretty nice, IPS they say. So the viewing angles are pretty good. The interface is a mix, sort of. It does have the on-screen capacitive buttons here, as you can see right there. Obviously I mentioned the physical home button also. Which is kind of redundant, but we'll move on from there. It's using Android 4.2 Jelly Bean, so you have the one finger swipe or the two finger swipe for extra settings right there, as you can see. And obviously the home screen, I believe the app drawer launcher is on the bottom there. Slightly different interface here because you can see the wallpaper. That's just a minor thing, but fairly stock implementation of Android right here. Let's check out the settings and see what exact version we are. 4.2.1. Interestingly, I've had this device supports software. I mean, over-the-air updates, and during the time I was using it, I got a lot of updates, like four or five, maybe once a week or once. Yeah, I did get a lot of updates over the air. I don't know what they've been improving. But I like that it gets updates, and I don't seem to find any problems with the new updates. So I keep updating it, which is nice. This has, obviously, as I mentioned, a 1.2 gigahertz quad-core processor, MediaTek 65891, 1 gigabyte of RAM, 4 gigs of ROM, and a micro SD card slot. Looking at the, let's see here, the quadrant results here, we have 3,901 on quadrant, and on Antutu it got 12,804, which is fairly good for a MediaTek processor. That's on par with pretty much all 6589s, regardless of resolution. But yeah, so let's check out something else. Alright guys, so here we are checking out the camera interface here. It looks similar to most of the Cherry Mobile device camera interfaces as well. Though I do notice that it doesn't seem to have HDR, but it's not a big deal for me. I don't really use HDR that much unless, well, you can get an app for that. The camera images, the images that come out of camera are actually very good, and very detailed even in darker environments. And the videos, the 1080p videos, are actually very good as well. I will show you those at the end of the video and in usual form for my videos. But it is quite impressive. The camera of the Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0 is impressive, and I think it's one of the best cameras you can get for under 10,000 pesos. The 12 megapixel camera, obviously I've mentioned before that MediaTek processors cannot handle more than 12.6 megapixels. So if you're buying something, if you're thinking that another phone has more than 12 megapixels, that's not true. So the Blaze 2.0 is perfectly fine with its 12 megapixel BSI. So yeah, like I said, the camera samples are actually pretty good, and I will show you that at the end of the video. Alright, here we are, guys, playing a game. Obviously, it's a... everybody's familiar with this one. This is called Temple Run 2. I guess it's a popular infinite runner or endless runner type of game. It probably popularized the genre of endless runners anyway. But yeah, as you can see, it runs pretty smooth on the Blaze 2.0, as it should be expected. And the tilting and the tilting of the screen works pretty well, no problem. Doesn't seem to have input lag at all. So I think it's safe to assume that the Blaze 2.0 passes with flying colors. But I do not pass with flying colors because I suck. But yeah, that's it. Can handle Temple Run 2 fine. Let's check out something else now. Alright guys, so here we are checking out a game called Wild Blood on the Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0. It's a fairly demanding game, I guess. It's a sort of an RPG adventure type thingamajigs and action type, I guess. So as you can see, the Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0 seems to be running the game fine, no problem. Doesn't seem to have a lot of frame skips, so that's fairly acceptable to me. Let's move around here. Let's move on to the next area and see what happens. Let's skip that. Skip. There you go. Alright, should be more enemies here. Yep. Yeah, seems to be fairly playable. So I guess that's to be expected. Of course, it says MediaTek 6589, so that's fairly well proven by now. But yeah, that's the Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0 handles that fine. Let's move on. Alright guys, so here we are checking out another game called Modern Combat 4. It's a first-person shooter. I think everybody's fairly familiar with this one already. But yeah, it's a sort of demanding first-person shooter in this current generation. It's best with quad-core processors and stuff like that. So yeah, let's check out some of this game here. A little bit of frame skip here and there, but that's to be expected with MediaTek processors in the quad-core range. But nothing too bad. I can still play it, no problem. Whoa. There we go. Let's throw a grenade. I don't know. Maybe. I got a crouch here. There you go. The slow-mo was because of the grenade, by the way. It's hard to play with without looking at the screen here. Alright, so, seems to be playable. Looks pretty good. As far as the speakers go, it's fairly decent. Though not too loud, so I would, some people would want it to be louder, especially if you want to listen to music and stuff like that. But that's what you get. Sorry if the game swears, by the way. There's a lot of swearing in this game. But that's about it. Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0 can handle the Modern Combat 4 fairly well. So, let's move on. Alright guys, I think that's about it for the Cherry Mobile Blaze 2.0 review. So it's a pretty nice device at under 10,000 pesos. It's only 9,499, so about 9,500 pesos. I think the best quality of this thing is that it's got everything you need, especially with the camera. The camera is very good. It's got quad-core, you can play your games and stuff. Most devices in this range usually has an HD screen, pretty good quad-core processor, doesn't have a good camera, or it does have a 12 megapixel camera, but doesn't have, you know, good quality shots and stuff like that. This has a pretty nice 5.7 inch screen, although you do have the bar on the bottom here, and the redundant home button, which is kind of weird, but I don't mind. That's okay. We're probably trying to go with a little bit of Samsung-y design, I don't know. But it's got everything you need under 10,000. Good camera, good quad-core performance, a little bit weirder design, I don't know, slightly blander, and I don't know about this white colors on the black matte surface as well. But that's a minor thing. So talking about the pros, by the way, this display is not protected by Dragon Trail or anything, and as you can see, it does have a screen protector if you look closely. And as you can see, it's a little bit more glary than usual, but that's a minor thing. I don't really mind. But if you do have, if you're used to IPS displays with a nice anti-glare coating, you will notice a difference. But let's go with the pros and cons right now. So pros of this thing is the large high resolution screen. This is a 5.7 inch HD display, although you will notice that if you play games, the buttons still stay right around there, so you do lose a little bit of real estate if you're a bit OCD about that. Number 2 is the spiffy performance, good quad-core processor performance here, and I like that it gets updated often. I got about maybe 4 or 5 updates on this device during the time I've been reviewing it. Alright, so another pro here is that the battery life is above average. I got about 14 to 16 hours on my average daily use on the 2500 milliamp hour battery. So this is probably a good thing that it has a 2500 milliamp hour battery. Most phablets generally have like 2000 milliamp hour batteries or something like that. 2500 milliamp hours does help in preserving the phone, making letting the phone run a little bit longer than usual. So another pro is the good camera quality. Good camera shots, 1080p video looks great even in the dark, even in not so brightly lit conditions. I will show you that, as like I said, at the end of the video. Lastly, there is a notification LED in there. I can't show you right now, but it does have a notification LED, so that's a little bit of a bonus. In terms of cons, one con is definitely this double redundant home button thing here. You have a physical home button and a software home button. Actually, more home buttons is good. It's just that aesthetically and if you have OCD, I guess, it's kind of weird. Also, it's using a bit of the this home button is using up the bezel on the bottom, and the software buttons are using up part of the screen as well. So if they had capacitive buttons over here instead of this bar here, you'd have more screen real estate. Or if you remove this, you would have less a bezel. So that's a bit of a minor nitpick, a nitpick nonetheless. Lastly, well, not lastly, so the screen is a little bit recessed right there. I don't know if you can see that. Just a little bit more than the usual. If this is an OGS screen, which is not, typically the OGS screen is nicer, not more recessed than usual. And lastly, the design. It's a little bit more bland than usual, I guess. And this texture on the back is just not going, it's not just a nice, I guess, especially since the front texture is shiny, and then once you look at the back, it's all like weird and sandpapery, but not really sandpaper, more like very, very matte. But those are very, very minor nitpicks, I guess. And overall, the phone is very, very above average. So I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 stars for the great battery life. Well, good battery life, great camera, good performance, and the price is only $9,499. So congratulations to the Cherry Mobile guys. They've made a pretty good phone at $9,499. 4 out of 5 stars. I'm Alex from technoclass.com. Thanks very much for watching. See you guys next time. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and as always, if you liked the video, please press the like button below. Add it to your favorites and or share it to your friends. If you got something to say, drop a comment in the comment box as well. Of course, more importantly, you should hit the subscribe button on top. This will keep you up to date with our new uploads and helps us out tremendously too. That's it guys, see you next video.